recommendation wouldn't be.
All right, we'll call this meeting of the White Bluff County Commission, forgot the date.
That's why it's good that it's at the top, unlike you.
All right, Mr. Jeff, would you call the roll, please, sir?
Yes, sir. Raymond Albert.
Present.
Linda Hayes.
Here.
Debbie Brewer.
Here.
Ernest Pott.
Here.
Connie Reed.
Here.
All right. Everybody had time to look over the minutes of the March 12th meeting.
Make a motion to approve.
Have a motion to approve, I hear a second.
I'll second.
And a second. Any discussion on it? All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Looks like the minutes passed. Okay. We're to consider the rezoning request for map 0963 Group A parcel 012 Sagtown Road from C1 business to R2 medium density residence. Mr. Cliff, would you like to tell us what you want? We'll tell you what we can do.
All right. So, I know we talked about this last week, but, so my intentions are still the same. I just want to build one residential house on this lot. That's all I'm trying to get.
All right. Anybody have any questions, any comments? Miss Amanda's not here with us today to,
No, sir, but you have her comments in your packet.
that says here that, they want to try to keep zone commercial. Ms. Linda, do you have any comments on that?
No, I think we discussed it at our work session, so I guess you're just ready to go, or if somebody wants to make a motion.
Yeah, and this is just a recommendation,
Yeah.
up or down. It will go to the council either way. So it's just a recommendation from this body on the zoning change from C1 to R2.
All right, I hear a motion one way or the other.
To deny? Motion to deny?
Recommend favorably or unfavorably?
Unopposed. I can't say that word. You just did. I did.
So are you making the motion to recommend unfavorably?
Yes,
Okay.
just because it is all commercial and the future residents of it.
Yeah, it's a motion to deny the request to
Yes, sir.
change it to R2, right?
Yes, sir.
Right, but it still goes up to the council
Yes.
Yeah.
for their consideration.
I hear a second.
Well, I'm not second, because either way it's got to go.
Yeah, it's got to go to council.
All right, any more comments on it? All in favor say aye.
To send to the
All
council.
opposed? Okay, looks like it, they recommend not send it to council.
It's going to go to council with a negative recommendation.
One way or the other. All right, thank you.
Did I say something?
Holler if you have any questions.
Did anybody say anything?
We've already passed the time for public comments, but it's going to go up to the council next month, and there'll be opportunity for public comments at that time.
All right. Moving right along to consider the zoning ordinance, variation regulations, open space request, Mr. Mills.
Mr. Chairman, we went over this on Thursday. I changed just a few little things. I did notice we are going to need to change the definition of open space in our zoning ordinance. It was kind of in conflict with what this was, so if we are going to adopt these new open space standards, we need a new definition. That's at the top of your sheet there. And I also noticed in two other places, open space is talked about. We're going to need to delete those. One of them is in the R4 district. It's the only place in our zoning ordinance that requires an open space right now of 10%, so we're gonna delete that to 30% across the board. And then there's also, some language about open space in the subdivision regulations, so it's directing staff to, prepare a deletion for that section that I referenced on the last page. But everything else is in here like we talked about. Again, 30-second synopsis. PUDs have a 25% open space standard. If you are not a PUD, and you're coming in with a development, it would be a 30% open space standard. A fourth of that would be formal, that's developed like a park or some other common gathering space. 3/4 or 75% would be informal, that could just be fields or trees or whatever is desired by the applicant, and then it goes into detail of what is formal open space and what is informal open space. And so there's a lot of options for a developer to pick in what they want the formal open space to be. Clubhouse, pool, gathering areas, gazebos, gardens, anything like that. So this would create an open space standard for all developments at any zoning level. Residential at 30% and commercial or non-residential at 3%. You already have the PUD standard at 25%. So it's for y'all's consideration to recommend favorably or unfavorably up to the council. Now I'll have to go through 2 readings because it's a zoning ordinance amendment.
Okay. Anyone have any comments or questions on that?
I make a motion to approve and send to council, with the changes that Mr. Mills has made.
All right. I hear a second.
I'll second.
And a second. Any more comments on it? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, let me get back to the code of council. All right. Consider the zoning ordinance regulations, woodlands and tree protection. Ms. Andrew, well,
You want me to stay here?
Amanda,
Yeah, she's not here. No, I make a few changes from our discussion on Thursday. I did clarify that this applies to developments or a lot. Again, this only applies if you're getting a building permit or doing a development. If you already have a home and some trees in your backyard, you can certainly do whatever you want with them. We encourage you to keep them, but you are allowed to do whatever you want. But if you're coming in for a building permit, you have to preserve a certain amount of trees. And one thing we did add, because I think it was the intention, and I talked to Jeff, that it was, we defined what a specimen tree is, and for lack of a better term, it's a big tree, right? We didn't have specific language that you're going to keep specimen trees. So under C1 on the second page there, that's the new paragraph I've added, specimen tree retention. All specimen trees shall be retained except on an individual lot of 1 acre or less. So if you're coming in with a building permit on a smaller lot, you may not be able to retain the specimen trees. But if it's a development or lot bigger than 1 acre, you have to keep them. So no specimen tree shall be cut, removed, pushed over, killed, or otherwise harmed during the course of development, but town staff may permit exception if the tree is diseased, dying, or structurally unsound. Everything else stayed the same outside of the clarification that this does apply to developments and lots. So that percentage overview of, if you've got 50% canopy on the 50-acre development, you have to keep, I guess on here would be about 2/3 of that canopy. That would apply to the whole development. We're not going to wait until you've subdivided and look at individual lots. We look at the whole development at the beginning. But everything else is as you saw it. This is a zoning ordinance change, so we just need a recommendation favorably or unfavorably to send this to the council for 2 readings.
Okay. Any more questions on that one? Anybody would like to make a motion to send to the council or not?
I make a motion to approve it with the changes that were made and send it up to council.
All right, I have a motion, about a second.
I second.
And a second. Any more comments on it? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. Send it on to the council. zoning ordinance, variation, regulations associated with minimum standards. Mr. Bill.
All right, Mr. Chairman, we're continuing on with our zoning ordinance changes. What I did, what you're seeing differently today than Thursday, it was a table to kind of give you an idea of what it would look like on Thursday, but this is actually written out of how it would be placed in the subdivision regulations. And again, for residential developments, once you get above 30 units, you have to have a second access point. For that development, once you get above 150, you have to have a third access point. For multifamily, the first 100 units, it's one access point. Once you get above 100, you've gone to two. And then for non-residential, we look at parking spaces. So 1 to 30, you only have to have one access point. Once you go above 30 parking spaces, it's two. So those are pretty standard across the board. I think it's a good regulation to have for the town that we've been lacking. And it's in line with our fire code, which is that last section there, 6. If you're required to have 2 or more access points, they have to be a certain distance apart. You can't just put them next to each other and say we have 2 access points. That doesn't really help the flow of traffic. You've got to have them at least, however big the development is, half of that distance, those access points have to be apart from each other, and that's in line with the fire code that we have. So again, this is just the language of that table, requiring multiple access points once you get to a certain level on a residential development, a multifamily development, or a commercial development. And this is a zoning ordinance, so just recommendation up to council, favorable or unfavorable.
Okay. Anybody any more comments on that?
Make a motion to approve.
I have a motion to send this to council. I hear a second.
Oh, yeah, did.
We're gonna separate y'all then.
Yeah.
All right, I have a second. Any more comments, questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, we'll send that to council. Okay. Consider the regulations of the town of White Bluff Planning Commission to adopt the 2044 White Bluff Comprehensive Plan. Mr. Mandel on that?
I'll take it. I drafted it, so obviously a lot of work went into the original county-wide comprehensive plan that involved the county, White Bluff, Burns, and the city of Dixon. There was a desire expressed to create our own White Bluff-specific comprehensive plan. A committee was formed by the mayor for that purpose. We appreciate everyone's work on that, and now you have the White Bluff, the 2044 White Bluff Comprehensive Plan. So the way this works is we are asking that this body adopt that plan. So this is your own resolution that the Planning Commission adopts it. It would also direct that the plan be sent to the council. They will handle it slightly differently with their own resolution, but this would effectively allow us to look to the plan and make decisions on items that come before you, developments, applications, and consider the plan. So that's the next step in this, and so we're recommending that this body adopt the 2044 White Bluff Comprehensive Plan. And Jeff, anything I've missed or you want to?
Sounds good.
Okay. For consideration.
Any more comments, questions on that one? All right, your motion to adopt it?
I'll make a motion that we adopt this plan.
All right, I hear a second.
I'll second.
A second. All right, any more questions, comments? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Looks like we'll adopt it, send it on to the council. Now, that's all I have on my agenda.
Yes, sir.
Anybody have anything to bring up?
I make a motion to adjourn.
I have a motion to
I
adjourn.
second.
And a second. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We adjourn.